Hello, hello. Welcome back to the kitchen, which is actually located in our pantry. What are we going to talk today?
It's kind of a kitchen. Kind
okay.
of. Our kitchen.
Okay.
So today, another episode of Trending Topics. So, two things that have taken over our social media by storm. First of all, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah. And that particular article posted by Straits Times, which ruffled a lot of feathers.
Oh, the one, the
Essential
infographic.
or not? Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So which one do we want to start first?
Which one? Okay. What's your feel of the Straits Times? Let's talk about the Straits Times one first.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think of that? Is it called an article? Is it an article or a survey? Technically, it was a survey.
Survey, yeah, it was a survey.
What about? Okay, brief summary of what happened.
I do. Okay lah. So
Yeah, you do. Go.
Straits Times posted out an survey done in an infographic, which basically was a survey on essential and jobs that Singaporeans, or rather the 1,000 participants, deem essential or non-essential. So part of the infographics included, so there's the top 5 essential jobs.
Yeah,
Then there's the top 5 non-essential jobs.
I remember that.
And then there are more stuff at the side, which actually a lot of the social media posts actually cut it out. So there are jobs whereby people say top jobs that they don't want to do, that kind of thing. Jobs that they feel are underpaid. There are a lot more infographics other than that, but most of the social media stuff were focused on essential, non-essential. So let's talk about it.
Okay, I remember the whole topic was about the number one non-essential job,
Which is?
artist,
Yes.
which is very broad actually.
Yes.
Okay, are you triggered,
No. Actually, I'm not that affected by it.
and why?
I feel like it's too general.
Right?
And I feel like also you gotta see it on what kind of situation are we going through now. So and then what's it based it off also. So if it's if you're talking about this virus thing and talking about importance of the job, like who we really, really need, I mean it's them. Right? We have the doctors, you have the delivery people, you have the cleaners. Yeah, and stuff like that. They are the ones that really are at the place, keeping everything going.
Keeping things together.
Yeah,
lah.
correct.
Yeah.
So for us it's just yes, we do have our importance, but I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't seem to be very affected by it.
I wouldn't call myself triggered,
Okay,
but
I know a lot of people will.
yeah, so I wouldn't call myself triggered, but to me the feeling is more not again.
Not again what?
Because for me lah,
Yeah.
which I feel like is also the same kind of sentiments from the people around me.
Yeah.
Like they feel the same thing.
Yeah.
Because being an artist, even though it's so broad, right, the term, but being an artist in Singapore generally means you will look down upon at a certain point of time.
Okay.
Be
That's
it by
true.
your friends, your family first of all lah.
Yeah.
Because we are still in, or rather I feel like we are still in an era whereby we are still evolving from the traditional job scope into the current new set of job scope, like social media marketing. Like our parents will be like, what the heck is that, Like that kind can earn money one. Like my parents still have the mindset of get a degree, become an engineer, become a lawyer, a doctor. So first of all, from a family point of view, artists has always been discriminated against,
Yeah.
looked down upon lah. Like your
Yeah.
Chinese New Year, people joke about it all the time. Oh,
But artist is a very broad term though.
No,
so
yeah, but the
to
thing
put
is,
it in context, right? The Straits Times one, remember they had this small little guy
Yeah,
in
wearing
that
the-
71%, and he's wearing this fancy ass hat
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a paintbrush.
Yeah.
And then that was what they... Okay, then we don't know what picture, if any, was in the survey that they sent out to people. Whether sent out or had people come and do. So people may or may not have been attributing the artist term to
painters.
literally a
Right.
Painters.
person
I mean,
with
yeah,
a
the
canvas
icon
and
is
paintbrush. Yeah,
a painter, so
yes.
maybe it's referring to that kind of
It's a
artist.
very, very traditional definition of artist though. But
yes,
like,
I agree. I agree. It's like a very broad term, or the infographic itself is very like stereotypical.
yes.
But because of how technology evolved, right? And like now a lot of us who are in the media industry, like even though we're not painters, but our job scope have a certain level of graphics
Artistry
elements.
lah.
Yeah. So which is also why I feel like a lot more people are relating to that
They identify
non-essentialness.
themselves. Yeah.
Yes.
Because the art.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And also because like that's what people has been stereotyping us media designers to be. Like so what exactly, like I get that kind of questions all the time lah. Like I get these questions a lot, like also what do you exactly do? And then like we are in broadcast, right? So we are not exactly artists because for us it's still like more events based.
More service lah.
More service, yeah, more service, more events. So we are not exactly relating to the artist side, but I still get questions like, oh, so y'all do video editing one, right? Or y'all make short films one, right? Like, there's that kind of lack in understanding to this kind of new jobs that has been in the market for a while, but it's just not widely known.
I think our society is still like in a pretty reserved state though, right?
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Especially with our parents. I know my parents was very reserved. So it's an unknown. So they don't know how to navigate that because like as a parent, if your child don't know how, like your child wants to go this path, you have never gone to that path before, and it's something completely foreign, right? They don't know how to save you if you fail. So there's always a backup. Yeah. So that was the difficult part, and I think that contributes to the whole notion that artists or creatives or people who identify themselves as artists in nature are non-essential. Because the one that will still, if that fails, you always have a degree paper to fall back on.
Right.
Ask any parent, I think they will tell you that.
Yeah. We still have parents who still view paper above all else lah. Yeah.
I don't have a degree.
I think none of us here have a degree.
Nope. My mom wants me to get a degree though. Like,
Diploma.
Yes, yeah. My mom wants to go.
she's like, I hope you still will go get a degree, whichever age you are. Let's go get a degree at some point in time. But I'm just like,
my mom was telling me, I said, you should still get that piece of paper. Then I can take a graduation photo with you also.
Yeah, but my parents gave up already.
What is that? Okay, I think I need to arrange that for my friends one day. Okay, but linking back to where this whole thing started was the non-essential jobs. Right? There were 4 others.
Yes, correct.
I think, if I'm not wrong, I'm not referring to a piece of paper now. Telemarketer. I remember HR was part of it.
Yes, HR manager.
Social media manager was another
manager.
one of it.
Yes,
and then there's
correct.
one more. I forgot what it was already.
I can't remember also.
I think I'm paraphrasing this from a PR. Was it
one
PR?
of, I think
HR. I know HR was
HR was
definitely one
inside.
of it.
I'm not sure.
I think PR was inside
And
also.
I know of HR people who got triggered because one of our clients used to do HR academy sort of stuff, so they know a lot of HR people and they are quite triggered. Because HR is the ones that pay your payroll.
We have someone else that is damn triggered because I think PR was the last one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, she's so triggered
Yeah.
this morning.
Yeah.
She
Really?
was so triggered. She was saying
okay.
Among her group of friends, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was making noise. Like,
my God.
how come we are non-essential? We are the one doing all your marketing for you. You tell us we are non-essential.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, then I had a friend that post me this question in one of our group chats lah. He said, how come like artists seems like the only one making so much noise?
I think the voices are louder
Because we know how to use
because
the
we
medium.
know how to use the platform.
Correct. That's what I feel
Right?
also actually.
I'm surprised not a lot of social media managers are actually doing that because that's their job, right?
Actually,
Maybe
in
they're too
my-
busy doing
Maybe,
other
maybe
stuff.
they're busy doing other things.
It's like I'm
maybe.
exactly doing what my
Yeah,
job
yeah.
is doing now.
Actually, in my circle, right, the social media managers are also artists themselves. Like they have some form of like visual art background one.
Some.
Yeah.
Not all though.
So for the ones I know lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones I know usually came from like either graphic design or like motion design, that kind of background. Then they transited into social media manager.
Well, here's the thing. Like, why do people think that social media managers are not important? Okay, I can kind of understand why. Like, if they already think that artists are not essential, then something new and recent like social media manager, which kind of only came up in the last like 5-6 years, won't be essential because like it's new.
Correct.
It never used to exist. Like doctors have existed for like hundreds of years.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Right, social media manager is new. But in this
Yeah.
new world where everything is going digital, right, you need someone who knows how to navigate that kind of thing. How is that not essential? I have no idea. I'm not ranting, by the way. So, but then the other one was very interesting is the telemarketer one. You just got to be. I'm paraphrasing from a friend. We just got to be very thankful that the people who are calling you, the scam callers from like DHL or DBS or so, the kind, the DHL and DBS, they haven't called you and said, "Hey, you think I'm not essential? Wait, I call you every day, then you see
No, so okay, so
all of us are making noise online.
yeah.
They call you.
Yeah, so my friend brought up that question, right? Which actually I felt like, okay, one side of it being artists know how to use the platform lah, because
Yeah.
that's what we deal with like on a regular
Yeah.
basis. Right?
Kinda, yeah.
Day to day, we are posting that's our main source of like marketing lah. Actually, like while other businesses are still trying to navigate the social media stuff,
Yeah, we're
artists
already there.
know
Yeah, we're
how to
already
use.
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously social media is flooded with it lah. But another point that I think happened in my circle a lot is that because artists are usually already discriminated by your friends, family, and businesses.
Yeah.
So
The other four roles, right? Like businesses knows the importance.
Yes.
Yeah.
A business
Oh,
won't.
business consultant was the last one.
Oh yes, correct.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Which is very surprising
Yeah.
because like in this day and age you need to pivot your business and
correct.
some people may not be able to do it. So they
yeah,
need
so-
a consultant to come in and guide them.
So that's what I mean by like businesses. They won't forego the other four.
Eh.
They won't take advantage of the other four.
Mm-hmm.
They will pay money for social media manager. They will pay money for a good HR manager. They will pay money for business consultants. But artists get taken advantage of by everybody. You know, like
Market dense.
yes. I think it's not just that lah. It's just that mindset of still like, you do this one only, I also can do. Or the
I think that's another conversation altogether. Like that one, we
I
can
feel
have
like-
a whole episode of its own because like
no,
we
but
can go
I
on and on
feel
about
like
it.
I feel like that plays into part as to why artists are so triggered.
Maybe,
I mean, in my circle that's the case.
they
because,
appreciate
like,
their craft lah, but nobody really like.
not exactly that
No?
also. No, because like okay, so I have friends that are into like being artists, like miniature stuff, like doing miniatures for sales, that kind of thing. They're handicrafts, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they got so looked down upon by their family that like they actually moved out of their house. That kind of thing.
Oh,
Not
I
to
know
live
of some
apart with
people,
the
yeah.
parents because the parents just doesn't feel that you are doing a proper job.
Yep.
So like, growing up with this kind of stigma, and then you have your newspaper telling you that you're not essential.
This makes everything worse.
Oh, what
Yeah.
did the Straight Times graphics guy must have been thinking?
The
though?
one that actually did the infographics.
Yeah,
right?
the one that
That's
was
like,
drawing it,
artists
like
also
drawing everything out in what I presume is AI or something like that. It's like draw. Then what is the first one?
Essential.
Artist. Me okay.
Oh, then so then subsequently they posted an article that saying non-essential does not mean not valued.
Oh, is there?
Were they
Did
trying
he-
to save themselves?
I think so. So okay, then the lady that got very pissed off with
Yeah.
the whole PR thing,
Yeah.
being part of non-essential, she
Yeah.
said that why did they have to dig a hole like deeper for themselves, saying that it's not equal to not valued? Can you just like say you made a mistake?
Yeah. That's
Oh, but I think to me, when I read the article, right, so that came out on like what, a Saturday, Sunday.
I think so.
It was like one of the rest days, and then like it exploded all over the internet, right? And then, but the first thought I was thinking was not so much about how artists are not valued, or like how people still have that stigma that artists are non-essential. But if you like think back really briefly about that, right? Why does that stigma still exist? Because of media. So the bigger question that I have, right, is why did Straits Times think it was a good idea to publish the article?
Yes.
Why did it think it was I understand where the direction of the survey may have been headed, right? But the way that it was conducted, perhaps, I don't know how it was conducted, but definitely the way that it was put out in the article itself was just bad. Like there was no value add.
Correct.
It was just data.
Yeah.
But it
correct.
was data that was not interpreted for the user to consume properly. That is what I felt lah.
Correct. I
And apparently someone was telling me that the survey was based on the respondent list of 1,000 people. That is quite little
Yeah,
I
and
felt.
one of the respondents actually spoke up,
Yes, I remember
Really?
reading that, and
Really?
she
Yeah,
was
yeah,
saying that I think the questions that were given to them wasn't exactly the same as the infographic that came up.
Yeah,
Oh, are you
and
serious?
They
Yeah.
didn't
Okay,
inform
that's
them what's the
different.
context of the
Yeah,
survey as well.
it wasn't
Oh.
like the same direction that they were trying to get at or something.
Okay,
like
not
that.
surprising though, because like I think about 4 or 5 years ago, I had like someone from Straits Times call me. But I forgot how they got my number and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They were interviewing me about the whole City Harvest saga. So I'm from City Harvest. And then that whole like saga thing blew up in the news cycle, right? Back in 2015. So I remember one of them like called me to interview me. It was like a 20-minute, 15-minute interview sort of thing. I didn't record it though, so I kind of don't remember what was the context of that. But I do remember the impression that I had when I read the final article. So I was one of 3 people who were interviewed for that, and I think the questions, if I remember correctly, surrounded around how the church had been navigating through that crisis, and as a congregation member, how I had to deal with friends and family members asking about it. I remember very strongly the impression that I had when I read the article was, wow, they took it out of context. So that's not new. Like what you say about that, not new.
Yeah.
They took it out of context. Like there was so many things. Like it wasn't bad, but
It wasn't the.
it could have been better.
actual-
Yeah.
Or not fully true to what was
Yeah,
actually
yeah, like
said.
they were using the line to fit their narrative. That was what I felt. So when this came out, not surprised.
I think it's a very normal thing for journalism, is it?
I mean, for us in the media industry, we know lah. First rule
We
of
know
media:
lah, okay.
never trust the
Yeah.
media.
But why did Straits Times feel it was a good idea to publish that, especially during this time?
Yeah, actually, when I was looking at the infographics, right, like I took note of the other stuff first before the essential. Like the essential part was just like, okay lah, like non-essential, okay lah, whatever lah. Artist first,
yeah,
non-essential. Like
yeah.
it's not new news
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
Then I went on to the rest of the infographics, which actually pointed out that the one of the most essential jobs is garbage collector, but one of the jobs that I don't want to work in the most is also garbage collector. So I felt like that was kind of like the main point of the infographics. Like you deem these kind of job careers essential, but most people don't want to do because why? There's also the stigma with
Yes,
regards to
yes.
those roles, right?
Yeah.
So I
Could be the
felt like
stigma, could be the working environment.
yeah, so I feel like that was what they were trying to go for. So in my head also like, okay, the non-essential part, okay, this is not news.
Yep.
Like we've been stigmatized for so long already. But when social media blew up with the whole non-essential thing,
Yeah.
that's when I'm like, yeah, okay, this is not new.
It went quite far though. Like people were creating like Facebook profile frames
Yes,
and
I used it.
memes and stuff like that. Yeah,
used it.
so that went pretty far. And anyway, with regards to like jobs that people don't really want to work for, but they find it essential. Would you think that like let's say maybe give them a day on the job, they will appreciate it more? They will understand it better, perhaps.
No, honestly, no. I don't think so.
If you're talking about a Singaporean,
Yeah.
No.
No? Actually, remember I had this idea. I don't know if I told you before. I always had this idea that I wanted to try to do a series.
Oh,
right?
yes. I
On
remember this.
different jobs, but not your... Don't do office job lah. Office job, like...
Like follow SCDF, follow police.
Not follow leh. Actually, what I wanted to do, right, was on-job kind of experience.
Mothership did the kind of thing.
So I know certain news outlets in Singapore does that, but it's very random, right? It is I don't know how detailed it is, and there is a narrative behind it. What I wanted to produce was something a little bit more raw, but not like a day in the life of this person, that kind of thing. Because a day, I feel, not enough.
Not enough.
You
Yeah,
should
wanna
do
do 1
minimally
week.
like a week,
Yeah.
maybe a month if I got the time.
Wow.
So like you stay there and you do that job, because like honestly, how much of the job can you learn in a day? A day definitely cannot. A week maybe still can. Then like by the time you're getting in the groove of it, by the end of the week, right, you can give a good like objective evaluation on what you feel about the job. But then you got to address that properly also lah, I feel. Like,
Because by then you have a higher chance
Yeah,
of going
yeah.
through like the
Yeah, yeah.
busy
So-
part, the
correct,
relaxed
like
part.
the difficult parts, the hot days, the rainy days. Take for example a garbage collector. You ask me if like, would you want to give it a go? I would. Sembcorp, if you are listening to this, I know we are in the this series is new, but if you are listening to this, I would love to give it a go. Details down below.
Wow.
Oh, hey, serious. But I think it'll be a good series. It may be very educational for like the younger crowd, not like teens. Like teens, are not sure. Maybe teens and like maybe the younger kids as well. To put it in a narrative such that you don't stigmatize these jobs as being looked down on.
Yeah.
Things like garbage collectors, bus drivers, hawkers, maybe sometimes cleaners, especially. Train drivers.
Then we will have less Singaporeans complaining about how foreign workers are taking over their jobs as well.
That's true.
Kinda.
Because more Singaporeans will be willing to go into these kind of jobs.
Yeah.
Because that's
they got to feel a purpose in what they do.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing. Like, they always complain, there's a lot of foreign, especially now with the COVID thing, a lot of foreign workers in our country. But the thing is, their jobs you want to do, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you complain they take over
That's the hard question.
your job, then you go and do lah.
That is
But
the
you
hard,
want to do.
That's the hard question in your face, lor.
Yeah, so like, if
Like,
we
would
can
you?
introduce this kind of series to remove that stigma, like help remove.
I would. If anybody is listening to this, if you all got ideas, that would be fun.
You
I ever
actually-
thought I want to drive a bus for like a month. Like,
No,
try
you-
different routes.
You actually
feeder
hear,
bus.
I see a lot of stories about kids overseas who like look up to the garbage driver one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super
A
cute
lot.
yeah.
Yes. And they don't think, even the garbage collectors, they don't think their jobs are menial. They know the value of their jobs.
Yeah.
They know the value of their purpose in the job. Right? So they do it well.
I mean, if you know the value, I mean, same goes for the whole non-essential artist thing lah. Like, I mean, as much as I feel like it's not necessary for Straits Times to post their infographics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But-
completely unnecessary.
Yeah, like what's the point of posting non-essentials?
But I
Yeah.
know that whatever we do, like in the industry, we know our value.
yeah, that's
So
the most
it-
important thing.
That's why it shouldn't affect us.
Correct.
I know I do.
Yeah.
I know you do. You're not affected.
Not affected. I know how important I am.
Yeah. For us, I feel it's still a bit. I mean, we are still on the borderline of that whole artist thing because our jobs is just slightly off that nature. But because I have a lot of friends who are like in that particular industry.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough seeing them. I've been under that spotlight. Yeah. So I can understand lah, but at the same time, the follow-up article from the Straits Times makes sense lah. Like,
I haven't read that.
non-essential
I need
does
to
not
read
mean
that.
not valued. Yeah. So
There was this other saga. Do I call it a saga? That came out over the weekend. The OkLetsGo
Yes.
one.
it blew out of nowhere actually.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
So
true.
how I realized that was a big thing was when President Halimah Yacob
Yes.
posted this really long
Yes.
article. Not article, but like this
It's a
really
post,
long
it's a post.
post on Facebook, and it was not the usual post that she posts. And then I was like,
This is quite
something
big.
happened.
Yeah, this is big.
Something happened, so I went to read it up. So apparently there was this podcast group, and they marked themselves as the most listened to podcast group in the world, in Singapore or something
I
like
think
that.
it's
I don't
in
know.
Singapore.
Yeah. Okay, I read somewhere along the lines whereby they got quite the viewership. Like 1 in 2 Malays actually listen to the podcast, and it's a podcast by 3 Malay guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Right,
the
so-
podcast is to cater to the Malay community lah. So.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. I think which is why we don't really hear about
That's-
it.
I've never heard of them. Like, okay,
True.
I thought OkLetsGo was this band.
Huh?
Never mind.
Oh,
scratch
okay,
that.
I know.
You
I
know
know
this
who-
band?
yeah,
There's something
yeah.
like very similar name one.
OkGo
Or something like that. Yeah. So then Let's Go. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that sounds very familiar. Like, what is it
Okay.
about? Okay, then it was like completely different. It's a Malay. It's like a podcast, from the Malay community to the Malay community or something to that effect. Yeah. Then it completely like blew up out of nowhere.
I know something
And it was
happened
on
when
the-
Mothership posted it, but I didn't know
Yeah.
how big it was until
Well,
I saw Halimah
it was
Yacob's
right
one.
on the heels of that Straits Times non-essential
Yes.
article though.
Yes,
So
there's these two saga blowing up together.
yeah,
at one time.
and it was both like by news, and it was both like of things that should not have been said
Yes.
in the current context today, as well as in media lah. Basically, whatever media that you are. So then, what else did they say about that? I forgot. Already.
I know. Okay, from what I read from Mothership, right?
Yeah.
Because they're the one. That's my source of news nowadays.
Right.
So they have been saying like very misogynistic stuff on their podcast, like degrading women, sexualizing women, that kind of things.
Right.
Right.
Which I mean, I've never heard the podcast myself, so I don't know to what extent. So subsequently, there was a lot of articles that came out like detailing out whatever they said lah. So there was one I read,
Was it bad?
quite bad.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, quite bad. Like you will never hear that kind of thing in the current media one.
Okay.
Which in a sense, because the way they market themselves is they want to push out content that is different from the mainstream media.
Oh, I
want
saw
to-
something to the effect.
Yeah, they want to push out stuff that is censored by the mainstream media.
They call themselves
Taboo.
alternative media. or
Yeah,
something like
that was
yeah.
the one. So taboo topics lah.
Right.
Which in my head I linked it to Real Talk by the Millennials of Singapore.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they are pushing extremely taboo content.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, talking
I
about
watched them. Yeah.
like sex and
Relationships,
relationships,
yeah.
that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which is not talked about, especially in Singapore. We are still a relatively conservative
Yeah.
society, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But I feel
Okay.
this kind of thing should be talked more,
But
definitely.
real talk, not misogynistic. What?
Yeah, they are not. So that's the thing. Like so in my head, I started comparing. Okay, let's go to Real Talk
Okay.
because both of them says they are pushing alternative content.
Yeah.
Right.
But one did it in a quite a good way lah.
Mm.
Albeit it's a bit overly sexualized.
Mm.
But they are not like racist or misogynistic or in
There's still a
in any
certain level
sense.
of respect within.
Correct.
Okay.
But from what the articles I read about Okay Let's Go is quite bad lah.
So
Yeah.
completely different. Like.
It's different, very different.
Interesting.
So like on I think on Real Talk, or rather Millennials of Singapore, they try to cover topics also like topics about sexual assault of rape victims.
Yeah, I
that
saw
kind of
that.
thing.
I saw that over COVID.
Yeah, like in interviews with victims of sexual assault,
Yep.
and they want to shed light on this kind of story, which I feel like is a good thing to do. Like you should be shedding light on this
Yes.
kind of issues, this kind of social issues nowadays.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
But-
your phone.
RIP hateful users. So, but the article I read about Okay Let's Go, like they actually invited someone that had went through a traumatic experience with I don't know how to categorize it, sexual assault, sexual harassment. I don't know how to categorize it. But so
The
they,
more recent one, is it? I think he did it over Zoom or something like that.
not sure. Because I don't listen to their podcast at all. So it was just based on their article. So I'm not sure which episode it was.
I think I saw it. So like he was interviewing this lady who was a victim, and she was just sharing her story lor. Yeah, and I think it's like in a way to raise awareness of that kind of thing, that this kind of thing should not go silent. Yeah, that was the whole gist of it lah.
I'm not sure if it's the same one.
Could be. Never mind.
So
Continue.
so the article I read was basically she was recounting a traumatic experience, but instead of like empathizing with her or like showing compassion, they were making like lewd jokes about it, which I feel was
Oh wait, on Okay Let's Go.
yeah,
Oh,
which I felt was like very distasteful
that's
lah.
not cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I've never heard the podcast myself. I
Well, that
probably
is what
wouldn't
it's
understand
reported.
half of it also lah, because it seems like they speak in Malay for quite a bit of the podcast also.
Oh, okay.
Because in the article itself, they actually typed out like
Oh.
stuff that they say that are actually in Malay.
Okay.
Oh.
So I
I
probably
see.
wouldn't understand if
Right,
I actually listen to it.
I could try to.
Yeah,
have
you
it
should try, you
go.
should try.
I should try. Okay.
You should try. So to me, it's like comparing these two, extremely similar yet different source of or rather platform for content. Then it's like, okay, you say you're alternative media, but for Okay Let's Go, like, you say you're alternative media, but you're pushing these kind of ideals and setting these kind of examples for your listeners. Like Real Talk, actually they brought it out in one of their episodes. Like they said that we went through our analytics and realized that a lot of people
Oh, yeah.
watching are like 14, 15-year-old.
Yes.
Then they were all
Who was
like,
that?
oh my, wow, are we teaching them?
Dew.
Yeah, Dew was the one.
Dew said that.
Yeah, they were like, wow, are we teaching them? They actually
Yeah.
realized that their audience are of a certain age. And they realized the need that they have to set an example for them.
It was a younger teens too.
Correct.
Yeah, I think it wasn't like 17, 19 kind. It was like 13, 15 kind.
Correct. And
Yeah.
like even though all of them have like very different like experiences in life,
Yeah.
like John's experiences are completely different from, for example, Jade.
Yeah.
the DJ Jade.
Yeah.
Like two completely opposites of a spectrum, you
Yep.
know. But they are able to share their own experience in a way whereby it's entertaining, first of all, and it's also
Yeah, quite funny.
quite funny. Entertaining, and also in a way they still do teach their audience about like self-love, self-care, That kind of stuff.
yes,
like,
I remember
you
those
don't have
nuggets.
to fit
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
you don't have to give in. You want uncomfortable, say no, that kind of thing.
That's
You can still
responsible content though.
correct.
So I think the main gist of it is that if you are, or at least I feel lah, I was reflecting over this like the last couple of days, and then like I feel the main gist of it is that if yes you start out as like a coffee shop talk or locker room talk, if it comes to that, sure, right? But if you want to put it online, that's one thing. Sure, you can do that like how we are doing it now. But if you reach an audience size that is significant, right? And that the definition of significant can be, it varies lah. But as long as you have a certain influence over your content, as long as you're putting it online, you have the responsibility to put out responsible content. I feel alternative media or not.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Just nice.
The other part, I feel that what triggered a lot of people online with OkLetsGo's podcast was like, you do wrong thing, never mind, come out, apologize.
Right.
But I felt like a lot of people were triggered because they didn't post an apology. Instead, they posted like a non-apology.
Right.
So someone leaked a chat from the Telegram group. I'm not sure how authentic this is.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how reliable.
Didn't
source.
Halima ask for apology?
So they
Sorry,
apologized.
President Halima Yacob. Didn't
like
she
our
ask
own
for
auntie
apology?
like that.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I said that just now also. Like,
Very
like our own
relatable,
auntie.
like our
Yeah.
people's president and stuff like that.
Makcik.
I'm sorry. I would have, the proper respect where it's due. President Halima Yacob. Didn't the president ask for...
So they apologized after the president
Right.
posted that post.
Yeah.
But before that, so this whole thing blew up, I think June 13, 14. So I think June 15 was one of their scheduled podcasts.
Right.
And they actually posted like a non-apology. Like they emphasized that they are alternative media. They want to talk about the uncensored stuff.
Yeah, that's the conversation I'm seeing from like my Malay friends on Instagram stories.
Yeah, so they basically put themselves... I see it as they are using it as an excuse. To
The
say the kind of
alternative
things they
media
say.
part.
Yes.
Okay, sounds
To
like
say
it,
the
yeah.
kind of things that they are saying. Because real talk is alternative media, they don't say that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like there's a certain...
That's a pretty flaky reason though.
Yes, and then somebody leaked a screenshot from their
Leaked
Telegram group chat.
Like someone told them.
I think so.
happened?
I don't know how authentic that is. That's the thing. But basically saying that they will not apologize to this young beat. Censor myself. Young F.
Oh.
They will not apologize to these young Fs because they don't pay their bills. So I think that's what gets a lot of people triggered as well. Like if you did something wrong, like your content has a certain ideals that are not in public's favor.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, apologize it, change, people move on. But I think it's also partly the fact that they refuse to apologize at the beginning.
Didn't they apologize? Because I thought in the first
After.
paragraph of it. Oh.
After
So there's a few
President-
stages.
After President Halima Yacob posted her post.
Interesting.
Then they realized how
Then they...
serious the issue
Yes.
was.
Do they though?
Because one of the first apology I read was we woke up this morning to President Halima
Right,
Yacob's
okay,
post.
yeah, I saw that.
So it was only when the president came out to
Yeah,
talk,
yeah.
then they apologized. But before that, when the public was making noise on social media, there was no such thing. I think that's
So the conversation has already been going
Yes, correct.
on. Interesting.
Yeah, there was even like a Twitter account that is like collating all the kind of things they say on their podcast, like,
That's going to blow up in
very,
their faces.
Like, I don't know what's the proper word, lewd or like distasteful. Distasteful is like the more proper
Okay,
term for
distasteful.
it.
Let's go with distasteful.
Like there was a Twitter account that actually posted out a lot of like distasteful comments that they made during the podcast about females.
Really?
And then reading it as a female is like, do I want to listen to this kind of thing? I'm not really. Especially coming from guys, Like I mean, Singapore is a very safe country lah. Like
Yep.
as girls, we can walk home 3 a.m. in the morning. Nobody will come
Yep.
and hunt us down.
Yeah.
But it's the different case in other countries, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So like for us as girls living in Singapore, we are really blessed. But hearing this kind of talk from men when we grew up with that fear of, things could happen to us because we are weak. We need protection. And then hearing this kind of thing from men, like you make it more like
Doesn't build you as a person
Yeah.
doesn't build you as a community either.
Yeah.
I think
correct.
that's the main point though.
Yeah, and I think it looks even worse because they are married with kids.
Oh.
Oh.
So you have like your family father figure that's saying this kind
Right.
of thing about women.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Not
like,
a good example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like no matter what the religion it says is different, but the notion is that husband and wife, you're married, you are one. You know, you're supposed to help
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. Not tear the
Yeah,
other
not
party
tear each other down. So
Mm.
and then you have and then as I mean for us, the husband is the head of the household, right?
Mm.
The wife serves the husband protects the household, or provide for the household.
Loves
that
the
kind of
wife
thing.
actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then you have the husband saying this kind of thing when they have a wife at home. So it's like something is not right, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I thought
mean,
what
that's-
was the
that's
more
my
important
point lah.
thing was like, okay, you take these two examples, right? Straight Times with their non-essential article and Straight Times and their non-essential article. And OkLetsGo's saga, which apparently has been building up from what I'm hearing,
yeah.
and then it exploded
Yes.
like on Sunday. Like if the president has to come out and say
post-
something about it,
Yeah.
like
It's bad.
it's bad.
Yeah.
Like you really need to like do something about it and like rethink,
Yes.
right? So here's the thing. One is mainstream media. I think we can call them mainstream media because they are like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
national broadsheet, right?
They are like
Yeah.
the
Right.
paper.
They
you
are
know.
they are the paper and they have a lot of other publications under them like magazines and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So one is like a mainstream media national broadsheet level kind of a medium.
Yeah.
And then another one is a community type of a podcast, right? They maybe probably I'm presuming this they probably started out like this as well, right? And their viewership grew, right? But here's the thing: if you are a platform or a medium with that kind of viewership, you have the responsibility of putting out responsible content. And the one thing that I strongly feel, right, and especially when we're doing this kind of podcast and in the content that we do elsewhere as well, whether is it commercial or whether is it for leisure like this, right, that the content that we put out, you don't know who is going to listen to it. Maybe in Singapore, maybe someone old, someone young, male, female, right? Maybe even LGBTQ. Then, now is that a plus? LGBTQ
Q
plus?
plus.
Okay, yeah, the whole range. Hard to keep up sometimes with too many acronyms. But yeah, the point is you're reaching out to people that you don't know. You're reaching out to
Yeah.
people that come from all walks of life. And I know that because like I used to have a YouTube channel and it reached out to like a lot of people. Used to because I rarely maintain it. There's this one particular channel I have neglected for a long time. So like the point is that if you're putting it, especially if you're putting it online, if you're like the national broadsheet, you only kind of reach Singapore people, right? Because that's your
yeah.
target. But if you're like putting a podcast on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
it's discoverable. Anybody can find it. And as a person who is putting out this kind of content, you want your content to be found, right? Because you want to have, or at least for me, I know I can have an impact on certain people. And when you have that kind of certain impact and influence on people, you have to have the responsibility to put something that's value add to the culture.
Yep.
End of the day, if you have the views, if you have the viewership, the platform, you have to be responsible. You have to ask yourself, if I'm putting this out there, does it value add or does it bring people down? That is what Straight Times and OkLetsGo need to think about, I feel. So, this is still something new that we are trying out. This is just like community conversational topics that we are discussing, right? That we are just bantering it out. If there's something that you would like to see, if there's something that you would like to talk about, leave it in the comments below. We would love to hear it. And for everyone who is listening, who wants to get me on the job thing of like 5 days a week or something like that, if I have the time, we will schedule time. I think we can make a good series. I'm apprehensive because like I don't know whether people will take it up, but I feel it's a good narrative to create a series of content that does not stigmatize this kind of jobs, especially to the kids. And these kids, I feel, need to grow up without that stigma.
Yes.
as a society, I feel like we need to grow up from that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely need to. So yeah, let me know. Okay, thanks. Subscribe, comment, and there was another video that we did, which should be placed somewhere on the screen right now. Yeah, I used to do that 5 years ago. I don't know how it works now. We'll figure it
There.
out. Yeah, there, here. Yeah,
There.
so yes, okay. I really need to pee. I shouldn't have bought a large Coke. Okay, bye.
Nine. Do they like sound like white noise?